Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're still watching Breakfast Show live on Nile TV International, and as we mentioned earlier, we will be talking about the progress of scientific research in Egypt and how can we enhance this field to be able to cope with the international growth in the field of science. And we're glad to be joined today by Dr. Nadia Zakhari, former Minister of Scientific Research. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Doctor, if you can first of all tell us where do we stand on the international arena in scientific research, and what are the major challenges we're facing in this field?
Okay, it's a very big question. I will take it part by part. There are many engines who ranks Egypt among the world in the field of scientific research. So I will say two of them. One of them is the scientific publications. And in the scientific publications, we are number 42 among 243 countries. The best fields are the chemistry and the engineering fields. The other engine measures the scientific research as a whole in Egypt, and we are 113 over 142. Why is this so bad rank? Because we are not applying the scientific research. But as scientific research as itself in the laboratory, we are in a good situation.
What do you think are the main obstacles facing the progress of scientific research in Egypt?
The main obstacle is not applying the scientific research. It's not the budget. The budget is one of the obstacles, but it's not the main obstacle. Applying the scientific research is very difficult in Egypt because the businessman and the other ministers, they don't have the faith in scientific research. They prefer taking other technology from other countries and transfer this technology and apply it. So we must know how to market the scientific research. Scientists don't know how to market the scientific research. So this is something, this is the missed link between scientific research and the application of the scientific research. Other obstacles are like some regulation and rules that force it's not the object of forcing, it's encouraging people to take this scientific research and apply it. For example, making some incentives like the taxes, like training the laborers in these factories how to use the technology which is from the scientific research. Other laws like how can we develop certain drugs in Egypt. We have a missing law, and the FDA, the Egyptian FDA is missing. The preclinical trials. So we are proposing some laws now, and we hope that the Parliament would approve them.
Yes. Doctor, also if you can tell us about your efforts that you have exerted while you were a minister to promote scientific research in Egypt.
The first thing is doubling the budget, increasing the projects that are financed by the Ministry of Scientific Research. And as I remember, there were about 28 centers of excellence. Each one was for 10 million pounds. Of course, they were chosen according to a very hard competition.
Was it easy doubling the budget, or you had...
No, it wasn't easy. Doubling the salaries of the professors in the university and the institutions. What else? The communication between, or the collaboration between Egypt and other countries, and especially on Africa, because I felt that it is our role to return back to Africa. Also to other countries like the USA, like the European Union, like Russia, like Japan and China and so on. That's what I can remember. And making the exhibition for the scientific research. And when I say exhibition, I don't mean conferences and putting a paper and the statistical analysis and so on. Marketing scientific research. And this exhibition puts the prototype that can be applied really in scientific research. And some of these were applied.
What do you think could be the role of the new Egyptian Knowledge Bank in enhancing scientific research in Egypt?
It's very important because, as you know, scientific research is not a matter of I have graduated, then I'm I got the grade of excellent, then I will be a researcher. It doesn't go like that. A scientific research is like art. I have to know it and master it from the childhood. I have to get the knowledge at my home.
Through research.
At my home. We have the knowledge as scientists or as professors in our institution, but it's not for the public. So this bank will let this knowledge be in our homes, and it will be available for the children, for the kids, for the women, for men, for educated person and not educated person. So I think it's very important.
Also, Doctor, if you can tell us more about how can we inject the culture of this signifying scientific research in the syllabi since childhood. What do you think can be done?
As I know now, there are some kindergartens, they are not working only in the field of guarding the children. No, they are teaching the children some simple science, making them very interesting experiments.
It's more of a practical thing, more hands-on experiment.
Exactly.
It's
a scientific education.
Than the theoretical study of science we used to have before.
Exactly. And some schools have the laboratories, and this is very important. We have at the Ministry of Scientific Research, in the Academy of Scientific Research, there is a department for the kids and the youth who are working or who like scientific research. And when I was in the ministry, I asked the universities and the institution to let these children enter the laboratories under the supervision of the professors to complete their experiments. Many youth has traveled abroad, and it's my honor or the honor of Egypt that they took the first 3 prizes for 3 successive years.
How do you see the future of scientific research in Egypt? How can we enhance this field?
We can enhance this field by breaking the bridge between science and application. This is the most important. So we must have a sort of lectures or educating people how to market scientific research. And this is not the job of a scientist. It's a job of somebody who knows managing, who knows marketing. So this is very important. The other thing is encouraging or capacity building of all the laboratories that we have in Egypt, and the communication between the Egyptian who are abroad, our scientists abroad, with the Egyptian ones. I think this will
Doctor, do you believe that Egyptian nationals, when they go abroad, they're sponsored and taken care of, or like other countries are being more attentive to these skills and calibers rather than back home?
You mean?
Do other foreign countries, do they value scientific research more than we do?
Yes, of course, they value more scientific research more than we do. The people here, they think that scientific research is something for the scientist only to get his degrees, being an assistant professor, a professor, and so on. This is not the reality, because any scientist, the best thing that he can have is applying his research. So what about the other point I want to talk about, our scientists abroad? They are a treasure, because they don't leave Egypt.
Cooperate with our scientists abroad?
They don't leave Egypt. Many of them, when I was in the ministry, they told me, we have 2 months as a holiday and we want to come and make something at Egypt. We don't want any salaries. So
just
this is
volunteering.
Great. Volunteering, exactly. But we cannot tell them return back to Egypt.
How can we
it's not
create
easy.
the link with them? How can we create a strong link with them?
It's very easy to create a link because the fellowships, our students can exchanging programs, exactly. And we are always in contact with them. You know, the world is so small with the internet and the video conference.
It's become a global village, as the saying goes.
The scientific research that the papers that we publish there, and the papers that are cited by them or by us and so on. This is a sort of collaboration between both sides.
We've seen President Sisi talking several times about promoting scientific research. How do you think this can help, or how do you think this has helped already in trying to put a 5-year plan, for example, or a short-term plan to start on the ground developing this field?
We always have a strategy for the scientific research which takes about 5 years. This is already present, but what President Sisi has done is that in the culture they knew what about scientific research. Nobody talked before about scientific research. In the Constitution, the budget has been increased to 1% of the national income, and this is very good. For the time being, it's very good. We hope that afterwards it will be more than that. Having a certain council for scientific research, this is very good to take the scientific ideas and apply it. So I think that President Sisi had done something good for the scientific research.
What other things, like out of the box, Doctor, thinking out of the box, what other things can be done in order to further enhance scientific research, other than allocating, as you just kindly mentioned, 1% of the national income to scientific research? What other means can we...
I will tell you 2 examples, like the media. There are some programs in the media for a sort of competition between scientists, a program which is called Al-Qahira Tabtaker. It is a sort of competition for every scientist to see what he has done. This will let the people know about what is going on in scientific research. Another thing is doing Science Park. Science Park means that it's a sort of incubator for the scientific research. If any scientist have a sort of a prototype and he wants to make it in, to promote it to the industry, there must be something in between, which is an incubator. This is the role of the Science Park, and many universities are trying now to do this incubator or this Science Park with the Ministry of Scientific Research. I think this is the best thing to be done, so to apply the scientific research on the ground.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Do you think businessmen can also contribute financially to support scientific research in Egypt?
They do it.
They already do.
Yes, they already do it. Of course, we need more, but they do it.
But how can we further encourage them? Because as you mentioned earlier, that some of them just import the idea from abroad rather than improvising or working on making up new ideas.
And look, it's a matter of win-win. If the businessman found that he wins something from the scientific research, this will increase, and he will have faith in scientific research. And as I told you, the scientist is not clever in marketing his
product
work
or his invention.
So there must be a link, as I said before, and this link would be somebody who is specialized in marketing scientific research to carry the idea of the scientist to the businessman. And it must be a win-win. The businessman will not tell the scientist, give me your work, I will apply it. He has to get something to encourage him.
Also, Doctor, another important issue is copyrights. Where do we stand on the international level in terms of copyrights, and are we witnessing any violations in this regards here in Egypt?
Of course, anywhere in the world there is a violation in the matter of copyright, and now there is a program called plagiarism. So any paper that we published.
There's I believe that even when we were back in school, there was a website that we used to turn our research and papers to, so that it can find if anything was plagiarized or not.
Yes, if you have to put a certain statement, you have to say the reference of the statement.
Citation, of course.
Yes, if you don't put this reference, then this is plagiarism. If you took results from the internet and you
copied and pasted them.
Yes, this is of course plagiarism.
Doctor, the Knowledge Bank, would you please tell us when will it be in practice and people can have access to, especially the younger generations?
As I know, it will be on January 2016. 8 weeks from now. And this is a very short
This is
period,
very
and
short.
that's what our president always do.
Right. Dr. Nadia Zakhari, former Minister of Scientific Research, many thanks for joining us and have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your insight. And dear viewers, a short break and then we'll be back to resume the remaining segments of the Breakfast Show live on Nile TV International.